Welcome to Gindra Talks, where we capture stories and talk about insightful thoughts and ideas. We have a man of rhythm today with us for our third episode. But before that, let me remind you, we did an episode on sports and ministry. If you all have not watched it, go watch it because we have done an episode on it. You all might need to watch it and you'll enjoy. Like I was saying, we have a man with rhythm with us today who dances and who has the dancing thing in his body. So we have Jeremiah James with us. So hi Jeremiah.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine as well. Go ahead and explain about you a bit.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me for Gindara Talks.
Pleasure.
I'm a dancer, flag dancer, I would say. I teach flag dancing in churches, and I'm a flag dancer for the last 15 years. I teach in children's homes and orphanages, and I teachers in youth and teens groups as well.
Great. So 15 years you have been in the industry of dancing.
Yes.
That's a long period of time. So let me go ahead and ask you, do you think dancing is godly? Do you think dancing is mentioned in the Bible? Do you think dancing is a good act or a worship?
Of course, dancing is the number one thing you should do in every church, in every worship gathering. Every meetup, dancing is number one, I would say. It's not because I'm a dancer that I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's because it's quoted in the Bible.
True. Like you were saying, you can ask my parents also. In church, I come for the worship because I love to dance. I love to dance to the praise, worship, because I am a dancer myself, not professionally, but I love to do that.
Wonderful.
Yes, so let me ask you, why do you say that? Because in the Bible, even in Moses' story, when he was bringing the commandments down, people came with different intentions, good, but they acted bad later on. Those are bad examples. Do you think, like in the Bible, there's bad, good, both? Now let me ask you something, bringing into that question. How can dancing be bad and good at the same time?
Well, you brought the negative side of the dancing, which all our lovely folks love to bring.
Yes.
So that's why you never see dancers you have all the best dancers, Christian dancers, dancing in clubs and not dancing in churches. So that's why, and you have brought a old folks question, which I'm very happy, and that's where I'll come in, and I love the old folks. I will we say we cook the cows, we say. So dancing is number one. Yes, when Moses went and brought the 10 Commandments, there were the other guys who were dancing, doing a Sanakeli Sandali dance, which I would say is yes, which your side is true. But they also we'll see Miriam when they entered to the promised land, the first thing she did, they were 40 years in slavery. 40 years in all the problems you can have. And the first thing they did was, did they just sit and eat? No. We took the tambourine and danced. That's number one, I would say. I think the amazing thing that drives me all the time. When I want a blessing, I first dance. Because when I get the blessing, I know that comes in. So imagine in the promised land while they were going in the sea, she probably must have been dancing. So that's in the time of the blessing she was done. And the second part, I would say David. We all follow David.
Yes.
We all follow the amazing Psalms book. We all love that book. Don't we love that book? In that one it says that dancing, David danced. When David danced, everything, he gave everything. So I believe in church we should give everything to God, and that includes dancing as well.
That's good. When you were talking about dancing, now I was thinking there's so many young children goes to parties, goes to matches. They put their hands up, they dance, But in church, have you seen some people, children who are young, they're like this when the worship is going on. I'm like, why do they do it? Sometimes I even tell my mom, "Himi mama kina balanna me lamai podi mehema inne." But why do you think people are like that? Children are like that. Isn't worship songs a song that we can dance and glorify the name of God?
Well, we have come to a place that worship dancing is just 3 songs, and the 3 songs we just have to just lift our hands, and that intimacy with the Lord. Because I don't know if I have heard Pastor was saying that in heavens 24/7 we are praising God.
Yes.
Not worshiping, now praising God.
Yeah.
Worship is intimacy with the Lord. Before you get into intimacy, we should get our minds into order. Because we are going through a lot of problems. During the we are happily coming, we will trip on a stone just before entering the church. We trip on a phone, we can fall, and then our mind is in a different place.
Yes.
So when we come inside, we have to first set our minds right. The first thing we can do is praising God.
Yes.
So you give out. And also when you said that when the young guys and the older folks, why they don't do it? Because it needs to be a lifestyle of worship. I don't know if you have heard, a lifestyle of worship is not only Saturdays and Sundays. It's during the week. During the week, we put all our funky other songs during the week, and we don't put Christian songs, praise songs. And then when we don't have that, it's like closed up. And then you in a Sunday service, we want all our folks to lift our hands and dance. When during the week, we are not doing that. And then you can't drive that to a person if you're not doing that.
Yes, true.
So I think that's the number one thing that in our families, we have to make it a practice to put a worship song in.
Yes.
And there are funky worship songs. Huh? So last 15 years, you think that I listen to all the funkiest dance songs that is Christian in my life. And then I work with a lot of teens. So I need to be in that level. So for me to be, I bring Planet Boom and all these songs because I bring in that, and so that if the enemy brings in another, there is music to hit to show that there is good Christian music that we can listen to.
As well, yes. When you're choreographing dancing, is there any certain moves that you think is not really biblical or is not really good to be used as a child of God? Because I have seen even people who knows the Lord puts ara amutu dance action dana apita pennana bari, which is not very suitable, you know. Do you think there's a limitation? Do you think methering we should stop? What do you think about that?
Well, that is for me personally. I think there are two kind of movements. There is the movement clean dancing, you call it, and God has our bodies are the temple of the Lord.
Yes.
Always we need to emphasize that in any dance movement, and then should not go with always with the trend. So there when we try to compete with the trend, unknowingly we move away from the Lord.
Yes.
And trend means there are certain movements that we call it MTV. In my words, I don't know MTV. MTV brings in some secular movements, secular dance moves, and when we think when we bring that into our life, normally I don't know if you know about TikTok.
Yes.
So the TikTok is the new trend, so we bring it to TikTok. TikTok hits that trend to a beat level, and then we think that is the move that we should put it into our, which for publicity.
Yes.
But in God doesn't need publicity. If you obey His word and obey His calling, God will take you to a different way of publicity, which you think that this way is the right thing, but this way can be the unenough way also. This is an avurdu ganaki. But if you stay along with the Lord, the journey is very, very slow, but it is a long journey.
Yes.
Which I have seen. I think that sometimes, Danica, I think that if I put this movement, I know I will hit more followers. But then again, when I do that movement, I don't have peace, so I don't put it out.
There is a limitation when you do choreograph. Like you were saying, TikTok is a major hit nowadays, and teens like us, they don't even know what on earth they're doing. Like you were saying, followers lagan for likes or comments or shares, they do it, but it's totally different when it comes to choreographing things.
Yes.
Great. Has people, like churches say, Jeremiah, you can't dance in church. No dancing at church. I'll never let you dance at my church. Has those incidents happened?
Oh yes, so I have had many occasions like that. People have said that flag dancing is not that great in our church. We don't believe it. And then they are saying, and all of that. Then I see like, well, how can we have lively church? Because when a person comes to church, the number one thing is appearance. Number two is how the worship brings peace to them. Okay, and then if a person who's a dancer comes in, and if you have people just atavanna fine, how do you expect him to be in the church? Have you ever wanted a dancer to be in the church?
Yes, yes.
That's the question have you ever wanted a dancer to be in the church? නෑ dancers ලා ඔක්කොම ඉන්න ඕනේ එළිය.
Oh,
අපි ඉන්න ඕනේ ගෙලිම ඉන්න ඕනේ godly කට්ටිය විතරයි ඉන්න ඕනේ. ශාන්ත දාන්ත තීන්ත කුප්පි කට්ටිය විතර. But they are under their way when nobody's looking. They are the utterly the most funniest people. And then when they get caught, we blame God.
Yes.
And we blame that certain church. Why? Invite them, nurture them, teach them the good and bad. So that's what I learned the good and the bad. Then when I learned the good and bad, every time when I learned it, when I come to a point, I know for a fact make a karot varadi. And then I refrain from doing the bad thing. And then I stay with the right things.
great. I got to know a lot from this. Now let me go ahead and ask about you a bit. Now I'm pretty sure you have a tough life. What do you call? Balancing life is not easy for anybody. You know, balancing is something that we need to nature on. What do you think being a dancer and doing ministry? Because I have seen you personally helping the Sunday School of Bethany, helping so many children, helping so many events, to be very honest. How do you balance this? Because choreographing with children and making a perfect dance is not easy at all, I'm telling you. I have done this. I think you might say it. He has been teaching me dancing when I was small. Tell about that also. I just want to know, how is it? How is work balancing? How does choreograph with children, ministry? Go ahead and tell us about it.
Well, firstly, you all have to go into children's ministry. That is to have patience.
Yes.
Learn patience and learn to be at peace in everything what you do. Second thing I would say, the balancing, because I'm a professional dancer as well, and I teach dancing. That's where my bread and butter comes in. And then I do teach dancing in churches. I be available to teach dancing because that's where I cultivate it. So I bring it back to the churches, and I teach Super Sunday. I bring Super Sunday theme for children to show that God is not a boring God. God is a lively God.
Yes.
So I bring it to teens also. I then bring it to the children's side.
Yes.
We show that with God you can go in have a roller coaster ride. And then when it comes to teaching kids, well, I try to bring the good movements, teach them the good moves. There's a lot of good moves in every kind of dance, like from the cultural dancing to the Latin to the salsa, bachata, everything. There are amazing good moves, and also there are the bad moves. Like I'm talking about every industry because I have studied most of this. I teach most of it. So, and I teach social dancing as well. So I teach the good side of it, and then we can use that, and we also can blend with all the moves, but also you have to draw the line in everything. You have to draw the line.
Yes, I really love to do this podcast with you because sitting with you makes me want to dance a bit, you know. So this is great. Just to say, like, I know that you work for an academy or a dancing thing. Go ahead and tell what you do, and if there's any upcoming events, you know, go ahead and tell the people watching, viewers. I'm pretty sure they love to see Jeremaiah James with his moves, you know. I'm pretty sure we can get him dance today at this podcast and capture some. So go ahead and tell if there's anything, you know.
So I have a well, I'm a director of a dancing academy. It's called Mighty Steps, and I work with a lot of street kids and a lot of children's home kids. So I teach that side because I want to implement good character and values through and then teach them how to live life with a positive thinking and negative environment. So I blend into this category because I want to, from the start, I want to teach kids with good values, and I implement the godly values through them into all the other religions. I don't share about God openly, but I share the love of God. Whenever they are in a place, they can receive God anytime. So And in events that I do lot of events when it comes to teaching dancing, and then the event that is going to happen in exactly in 10 days time. So it's a event of called This Is Me. So I'm teaching. I've taught kids about identity. So I'm bringing This Is Me dance concert, which will happen on the 6th of April in Ananda College auditorium. So there's 140 kids coming in to exhibit their raw talent. First time dancing on stage, and I'm giving them a reality effect for them, to show them that you can do anything if you think out of the box. So it's an open event. Anybody can come in, and I'm raising funds to help their scholarships. 12 children will receive scholarship for their future education. So you can come in and be a part of it, and come and see. Yes, you see me in action, and you see my kids in action. They are amazing, and thank you so much. And yes, she mentioned that you will see a dance act here, and yes, if she's joining with me, because she's a very good dancer as well, and I've seen her dancing, so she's joining with me. Why can't we do? Let's do 5 dance steps that we can do in church, so that you can do it in church as well.
That's great.
Yes.
So you can teach me now if you want.
Of course, we can do that.
Yes.
And then we can have you guys dancing on church, and before dancing on church, dance at home and see.
Yes.
See how do you feel,
Yes.
and how do you look, and because of it, we think about our looks a lot. You can do it in front of the mirror and see, and then implement it in church. The peace of God will surpasses you whenever you move with the Lord.
Great. So like he was saying, keep your calendars free on the 6th of April. This is an open event. You all must go watch Jeremiah and his lovely kids dancing. Thank you actually for being with us today. I learned a lot about dancing, because myself, I do love dancing. I don't follow dancing as a profession, but I love dancing. So from today onwards, I do dance at church, but I will dance a bit more. Like I was saying, I want to dance. I think he's bringing that anointing. So like you were saying, you can show us that 5 steps
Yes.
that people can follow when they come to church. So do you want to teach us now?
Yes, we'll do that.
We'll do that. So thank you once again, Jeremiah, for joining. Okay. So Jeremiah, teach us the moves.
So number one move that we can do is we can wave our hands. So everybody knows waving hands. So you wave your hands. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Waving hands. Number 2 movement, you can roll your hands. All right. So rolling hands. So nothing will happen when you roll your hands for the Lord. Yes. And then number 3 is wave your hands. So you do waves. You do waves and waves. And then number 4, you can pump it up, pump it in the air. So you can pump it in the air. And number 5 is jumping up, which we do.
Yes.
So you jumping up, everybody loves. So you jump up and clap. So these are 5 general movements you can do, which for any song you can do it. And so, but you can bring your own style. You can do 1 to 5, or 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So something any way you like, you can mix it up and you can do it. Yes.
Oh, great. These moves, I'll use it. I'll tell Mosai or my mom to record so that they can see me dancing. So thank you for watching Indra Talks, our 3rd episode. We love doing this segment with you, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
So make sure that you all subscribe, like, comment down below, and share this with your friends, because I'm pretty sure there are dancers out there.
Yes.
So I want you to tell, if there's any dancers out there, a small message about ministry and dancing, so that they are getting motivated. So go ahead and say, Jeremiah.
Well, all dancers out there, it's been amazing. You are doing an amazing job. But also I would say that please draw the line. You should not do every single thing that you have to do for the trend. Do the right thing, and if you stand firm, God will lift you up amazingly high that you will never imagine before.